Hey, damn, what the hell? Where you been? I've been trying to reach you. The overlords have been blocking my transmissions. Or maybe I just forgot to make a transmission. Damn, I've been busy. What the hell? Shit's going on. That's fine though. My band just got done writing and recording our fourth album. Well, it ain't done recording, but all my main shits are done. So I got a little bit of free time again. And then I seen the other day my homie Jason Hook finally put out a new video. And then I got this crazy email yesterday, totally blowing my mind. Homie from Heresy and Concrete Socks hit me up, said he seen some of my shits. And I was like, oh wow, that's so cool. So I was like, shit, I should probably make a new video. So here it is, yeah. Over the holidays, I went back to the motherland, Rochester, New York, visited the grannies and shit. And of course, the bounty of killer record stores in the area, yeah. We hit up the Record Archive. We hit up the Great House of Guitars. Checked out the Hi-Fi Lounge, the Bop Shop, my homie Mike at Bartertown Collectibles. Sadly, I ran out of time and money before I made it to Needle Drop Man, because that shit's cool too. Next time I hit them up for sure. But anyway, I'm going to show you some of the bullshit I picked up on that trip. And there's a ton of it. So let's just blast right into shit, right? I'm gonna, I guess, show things in little fucking chunks of relatedisms, right? This first chunk, I've been on a fucking SST kick lately, right? Back when I first got into collecting punk records, like SST was like one of my fucking go-to labels. Anytime I seen a used SST title at the shop, I would pick that shit up. Back then, you couldn't fucking look it up on YouTube. You just like fucking, you took a chance based on the cover or the label or whatever. And SST was one that I would like pretty much always grab from. And it worked for a while, but then it started fucking me over, right? Because all the early SST shit is golden. But then, man, the label gets a little weird and they start going in different directions, you know. I got like one too many fucking improvised instrumental records. I was like, I don't know if I trust these motherfuckers at SST anymore. At least after a certain fucking year, right? But that was all like back in the 90s. That was a long time ago. I seem to have aged since then, and I am more accepting of certain things. I still ain't looking for a fucking instrumental improvisation record. I don't need it. But there are a couple of the fucking mid-period fucking items on SST that I used to have back in the day and got rid of or just like never checked out. And this is one of them. SWA. Your future if you have one. I did have this record way back in the day. I ended up getting rid of it at some point. Because I was like, yeah, it was only okay to me at best. Okay at best. Fucking traded it out for something I liked better at that point in my life. But at this point in my life, I got some more room for SWA again. Yeah. Man, back then I thought they was called SWA. But no, it's called SWA. This is 1985 SST Records. If you're not familiar with SWA, you got Chuck Dukowski from Black Flag and Worm. You got fucking Merrill Ward on vocals from Overkill. Greg Cameron on drums. He went on to do Chemical People and shit like that, right? And this doesn't fucking sound like any of those bands. And it's probably not as good as any of those bands either. But that doesn't mean that it's shitty. This was Chuck Dukowski's group, like right after he left Black Flag, he made this one, I think. And like a lot of SST shit was starting to do at that time and would continue to do as they move forward. They're kind of mixing the punk hardcore shit with like the 70s rock bullshit that they grew up on. This copy's groovy. Comes with the fucking promo 8x10 glossy, right? Some kind words from Jordan Swartz on the back. A little fucking SST letter. This was like part of a promo pack, I guess. SST's always cool with getting the extra fucking bullshit in there. Nothing like getting a million inserts. So much to look at. And then, the goddamn lyric insert. So anyway, like I was saying, man, you kind of like get a mixture of the early 80s SST punk hardcore shit with like 70s classic rock kind of shit, which pretty much became the blueprint for the 80s alternative into the 90s grunge shit, you know. This record's pretty alright. There's like some pretty rad tunes on here, a couple skippers, not my favorite record, but worth having.
SWA is your future if you have one. You are either SWA or non-SWA. There is no middle ground. There are those who will shun SWA. We will watch them destroy themselves. SWA is your future if you have one.
Grab this compilation, The Blasting Concept Volume 2, man. I used to have this on cassette. I got rid of my whole tape collection fucking years ago. But I always liked this one. This shit rules. It's 1986 SST, and it's got pretty much all the heavy hitters from the label up into that point, and mainly previously unreleased recordings. At least at the time, I'm sure a lot of this shit's been collected on the band's fucking shit at some point. But this is a pretty groovy lineup, man. Starting off with fucking Saint Vitus, Look Behind You. Look behind you. That shit rules, dude. I don't know why that didn't make it onto an album, man. It's a fucking killer. Got DC3 covering Mountains, some more SWA. The Black Flag track, I can see, was fucking not that awesome compared to some Black Flag tracks, but it's still a Black Flag track. You know, Worm Overkill, fucking Saccharine Trust rules, Angst. I fucking love Angst, man. Meat Puppets and Minutemen, Husker Du, man. Pretty solid lineup. Pretty boring cover, but good record. The Blasting Concept Volume 2. This next one, Painted Willie's LP Mind Bowling, is new to me. I did have some Painted Willie shit back in the day. I had like a live 12-inch by them. That was like, okay. I'm generally not huge on live recordings anyway. But this one just never crossed my path at the right time. The cover kind of blows. Doesn't look that interesting. The back cover looks like something I would buy though. But you can still get this shit for cheap, man. And this fucking record is great. I was like real pleasantly surprised. It shouldn't be that big of a surprise, right? Painted Willie is two of the dudes from Sin 34, who's a cool old hardcore group. And I think the other dude was from SVDB, the Saint Vitus dance band, who did a split single on Mystic with Battalion of Saints back in the day, right? So they all came from cool bands, and this one definitely veers a little further from hardcore than their early shit did, but this one is still like way fucking punker than I expected out of Painted Willie. Kick-ass record, man. The other thing notable, I guess, Dave Markey's in this band. He did We Got Power Films. So he did like the Desperate Teenage Love Dolls and Love Doll Superstar movies. What did he do? The fucking Year That Punk Broke. One of those fucking things. Bunch of videos. Solid dude. Last record in the SST segment of today's video is this one, fucking Black Flag Wasted Again, right? This is like a best of greatest hits kind of thing. Came out in 1987, like pretty quickly after they broke up. And it's a pretty good mix of the different eras of Black Flag. It's got shit from almost all the albums. I don't think they got nothing from My War for some reason. And they didn't put Nervous Breakdown on, which I probably would have done. But they did Wasted instead since the album's Wasted Again. So, you know, I mean, that shit's all good, so that's fine. So the CD of this, I got real early on. It was the first Black Flag shit I ever heard was this on CD. I'm sure I still got the CD back there somewhere in the neglected fucking CD collection. But when I seen this sitting there, it's just one of those albums that I had early on, you know, so I listened to that CD a fucking million times and just like every one of these songs is burned into my brain. So it's cool to find it on vinyl. It's interesting hopping around between like the early fucking Black Flag hardcore shit and then the later sludgier shit, man. I like both eras. I like all the eras. Well, all the 70s and 80s shit anyway. They spared us any instrumentals or spoken word, which is nice. The A-side is pretty much all like the short, fast, hardcore bangers until you get to Slip It In. Slip It In ends that A-side. Fucking Annihilate This Week and shit. Dun 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 dun. Annihilate! It's good, man. It's kind of nice buying a Black Flag record again. I bought all the Black Flag shit so long ago. I haven't bought a Black Flag record in a long time. Sometimes forget how good some of this bullshit is. Burned it into my fucking skull fucking decades ago. Always listening to some obscure shit these days. Good to put on some bangers once in a while. Pretty groovy cover art, right? Well, you're a regular party machine. Alright, up next, a triple pack of metal shit. Got some more punk and hardcore coming up in a little bit. But you know I got a soft spot for some hot metal. Check out this little baby. It's a 1985 5-song EP by Halloween on Noise. I think their first record, maybe. I think this came out before that first LP anyway. So this is the early speed metal years of Halloween. It's fucking righteous. Here's the boys with some angry looking pumpkins. Even got Fang Face up in there. I always like this shit. Little description of what else is available. Fucking sick ass death metal comp Hellhammer. Woo! Celtic Frost. Noise was firing on all cylinders at this point. Anyway, Halloween sounds like fucking heavy metal. Good fucking heavy metal. It's good shit. If you want an in-depth conversation on Halloween, hit up my homie Marty Worm. I'ma just be like, this shit is cool, and move along. Next one, this was sitting in the fucking racks at Record Archive. Couldn't just leave it there. Speed metal. Look at this glorious cover. All the monsters are having a race to the finish. Whoever finishes first gets a free human soul to devour, presumably. Dude that drew this, Drew Elliott, man, he made a lot of fucking cool covers back in this era of shit. He did that bitchin' ass thrash metal attack compilation cover, fucking Complete Death, Speed Metal Hell, and Speed Metal. I think he also did the Blood Feast covers, which is fucking, dude was like only associated with the top-notch shit, right? Speaking of top-notch shit, this thing's like a sampler of Metal Blade shit. It came out in 87 and features tracks from 1983 to 1986 or so. They got that Restless logo down there. I'm thinking that maybe they had just recently hooked up with Restless for fucking more distribution and maybe threw this together to show off some of the shit on their label. 'Tis their bid to turn the children of America onto the evils of speed metal. Speed metal is the term used to describe a new form of heavy metal that has changed the course of this music. Herein lie the masters of this genre. So strap yourself down and listen to some classic speed. And look at the shit they chose to show off, man. Slayer, Hallows Eve, Hyrax, Voivod, Omen, Celtic Frost, Destruction, Sodom, Bloodlust, Cryptic Slaughter. It's like all bangers. The only one I would maybe switch out is like the Bloodlust track is like decent. It's not 100% up my alley, but everything else there is 100% up my alley. Cool cop of speed metal on Metal Blade. I dig how they start off with fucking Evil Has No Boundaries, man. This is especially remixed for this album. But man, fucking Evil Has No Boundaries. That fucking tune. Love it. Last of the metal shit I picked up on the Rochester trip, Dark Age. It's funny, man, because I just seen like a day or two ago fucking Aaron the Metal Theologian was talking about this one. And I had just fucking grabbed it a few days earlier. But probably he's the one that turned me onto this shit in the first place anyway. That's probably why I was on my watch list, because of that guy. Maybe. Probably. I don't know. Anyway, this record's fucking great. This cover is fucking phenomenal. Look at this dragon. Wondering if he's maybe like lighting one of his farts on fire or something. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm all in on that cover. Man, look at the dudes. Look at the dudes. Look at the dudes. Check this out. It's on fucking Gnarly Records, man. Fucking gnarly. Side Dragon, man. Look at the names of the songs. Fucking Tales of Medusa. Anywho, this is like 1984, straight up, no bullshit, adjectiveless, heavy metal shit, right? Good singer, cool songs. Dark Age. Alright, we'll move back into some more 80s punk and hardcore shit. The record gods in Rochester did not treat me well on any 70s punk shit, sadly. Cause you know I got a sweet spot for that shit too. But it just didn't happen to me, you know, you gotta buy what's there. You can't just make shit appear out of nowhere. Unless you use the internet or something, which I was not doing. I was using my eyeballs and my fingers in real record stores. This is what I found. Boom. Whoosh. Vicious Circle. Rhyme with Reason. 1987. This is an Australian hardcore punk band on a UK label. Kinda love this album cover, man. Look at this dude. This is kind of what I want my 80s hardcore albums to look like. At least a certain breed of them. And this record's real swell. Kind of like fucking serviceable, like maybe fucking B or C tier 80s hardcore. It's not the best. It doesn't suck. It's a fucking good listen if you're into this kind of shit. Which I am. Grab this one, a fucking another one that I used to have back in the day. I gave my old copy of this away to a friend at some point because I thought that it was way up more their alley than mine. But you know what? It was up my alley. And I missed it all these years, and finally it's back. PMS, aka Pre-Metal Syndrome. This came out in 1987 on By Our Records. That's the Adrenaline OD label, yeah, out of Jersey. Classic 80s insert, right? Yeah. This is an all-girl band mixing hardcore and metal, but not exactly the typical crossover sound. You know, because it's not really thrashy, but it definitely is a mixture of punk and metal shit. A couple of these girls would go on after this band to form Wench, that was like straight up thrash shit. But this band still had a lot of punk in their bullshit, a lot of hardcore in their shit still. These guys would play with like fucking Cro-Mags and Bad Brains and shit like that, right? Cool record, solid fucking vocalist, PMS. One of these days I'm gonna have to make a video of all the records like this that I fucking had like 15 years ago that I traded or fucking sold off and now rebought.
I missed them.
But on the other hand, here's some shit I never ever heard until I put the fucking needle on it a couple weeks ago. The Rub, Bikini Gospel. This record's great, man. This was a good surprise. I picked it up because it was on Happy Squid Records, which is like the Urinals label. And I heard somebody mention it favorably on the You Don't Know Mojack podcast. And then there it was sitting at Hi-Fi Lounge for like fucking $8 or $9. I was like, that's fucking gonna be well worth the fucking risk. And it was. I like this record a lot. It's kind of like a cool mixture of like scrappy punk rock shit with more like moody atmospheric kind of leaning towards alternative-y fucking but like lo-fi kind of shit mixed in. All the songs are good, man. I recommend The Rub. Bikini Gospel, good record. Hey, what about MFD? Full volume. 1988 DSI Records. DSI Records, the home of United Mutation. And like Death Piggy and fucking Images and Maleficent shit. You might look at this cover and be like, that is some kind of like metal or hard rock record, but you would be wrong. This record kind of gives off a fucking Zero Boys vibe, especially in Young David's vocals. Produced by Tom Lyle, extra guitars by Tom Lyle. The Tom Lyle of Government Issue, of course. And Beaver. Fucking Beaver. Right? Anyway, cool record. Check them out, MFD. Good stuff. Alright, now to enter an era that we don't discuss all that often on my channel. Fucking 90s punk. Which is weird, because, like, the 90s are the decade that I came of age and discovered punk and started my whole journey into that whole scene and shit. But for whatever reason, my 90s punk section is way tinier than my 70s or 80s punk shit, man. For whatever reason, that's just what fucking speaks to me and stuck with me a little bit more. But there is a ton of cool shit that came out in the 90s too, like this record by the Joy Killer. This came out on Epitaph Records in 1995, right? But the Joy Killer features Jack, the singer of TSOL. It's also got Ron, the guitar player from TSOL, doing a lot of the guitar tracks. The bass player is the dude from the Weirdos. And weirdly enough, the other dude in the band was in like some like country rock band from Canada named the Stampeders or something. An odd mix with the TSOL and Weirdos guys, but it comes out fucking good. Like, if you get down with TSOL, you're probably gonna dig this shit, man. It's a pretty rocking album. Definitely leaning more towards like the punk side of shit. But once in a while, they do come out with Jack's more gothy, death rocky kind of bullshit too. I like both of those fucking things, so it's like, it's good. It's good by me. TSOL fans, take note. Good record, Joy Killer. Up next, we got Fuel from 1990. This came out on 6th International Records. This is a California band, San Francisco, I think. And they kind of fit in with that whole, like, lookout crew of bands, right? I think one of the dudes went on to be in Pinhead Gunpowder. One of the dudes was in Monsula, right? So that kind of crew. But it doesn't really sound like that shit at all. It sounds more like it would be on like the Discord label, right? It sounds like if a lookout band wanted to be Fugazi, right? It is Fuel. And that's not a put down by me. That's like a cool thing for me. Because they do a fucking killer job of it, man. All the songs are well written, man. Well performed. It sounds fucking good. If you dig the fucking Fugazi Rites of Spring fucking DC sound of that time, check out fucking Fuel. They do a good job of it. Got a random fucking Woody Guthrie picture on the insert for some reason. I'll take it. Good shit though. Fuel. Wrapping up the 90s punk section. How about some fucking Anti-Schism? Still Life LP 1991. This came out on Allied Recordings. I had like a couple like fucking bootleg like show distro tapes of this band in the 90s that I played like kind of a lot. So I was totally pumped to find this LP sitting there at the House of Guitars. The original Allied pressing, no less. Very nice. This band is fucking rad, dude. It's like fucking fast, angry, hardcore punk shit. It's like some fucking crusty anarcho peace punky kind of fucking hardcore punk rock shit. They got a dude singer and a lady singer that fucking are trading off. They both fucking sound like impassioned and in fucking tense, right? And all this from South Carolina of all places. Fucking killer record. They got like a bunch of fucking noise tracks and fucking talking and found sound and bullshit in between the songs I could probably live without, but it's okay. Good shit. It's okay, little guy. And I guess we'll wrap up the LP section with fucking at least one album that wasn't put out over fucking 20 years ago, right? How about Zek's Uphill Battle? This came out in 2017. It's the second LP by these Canadian fucking spiky hair motherfuckers. Got Gretchen Steele on vocals. Pretty rad name, yeah. Magic Bullet Records. And this is a real enjoyable LP, man, let me tell you. Kind of mixes like 77 punk with like UK 82 kind of shit, and like a little fucking sprinkling of some fucking more modern spiky hair drunk punk kind of shit, you know, but like with an emphasis on fucking like catchy good melodies and fucking sing-along punk rock shit, man. I dig this one. Zex. It's real nice. But wait, that's not all. What do you think, I only bought fucking LPs and shit? You know I like the littler records too. Let's check out that shit. Come on! Hey, anyway, I mentioned the House of Guitars a couple times in this video so far. It's literally one of the coolest stores I've ever been to anywhere. It is my hometown, so maybe I'm sweetening it in my head, but I'm pretty sure it's cooler than most places in the whole fucking world, right? These two brothers started this shit like way back in the 60s or 70s, like my whole life. When I was a little fucker, even my old man would take me there, and like it's just like rock and roll haven. There's like a whole giant room of like records and tapes and CDs and shit, and then a floor up there's like a whole fucking giant thing of fucking guitars, and then there's a whole drum area. It's like real cool spot. You ever going through Rochester, I recommend you check it out. That's the kind of place that you could spend fucking a whole entire fucking day just like digging through records, man. Like, I only had a little bit to look through there. I would have loved to spend way more time. But anyway, I did find some goodies, starting off with some records that the fucking owner of the place made. This fucking dude, Armin Schabrick, man, who to me was always like my city's Lou Reed, right? And it was a super like fucking cold, super fucking stormy day. There wasn't a lot of people out, man, and so I got to fucking chat with Armin for a little bit, which always makes my day better. He hipped me to this fucking 10-inch that he put out a little bit ago that had slipped under my radar, possibly since I wasn't living in town anymore. Fucking Armin Schabrick steals God made the blues to kill me. God made the blues to kill me, man. God must have a contract out on me. It's pretty awesome. Like, I didn't know what to expect because he hadn't put out, like, music in, like, a long time. I might as well just pull this out, too. The other record I got by Armin there was this one right here, which was his first single. This came out in 1971, right? This one's like 2015 or something. So there's a lot of time in between, you know. And like I said, to me, he's got like a little bit of a Lou Reedy vibe in that he's like, you know, pre-punk, proto-punk kind of shit, like kind of like weirdo outside of rock and roll, man. All my favorites are weirdos, you know, Rocky Erickson, fucking Armin is a trailblazer and a goddamn genius. I had to make him fucking sign it for me. He even put his inmate number from when he was fucking up in lockup. But this shit was surprisingly good, man. I was like familiar with a lot of his classic like 70s shit. And this really like fucking picks right up off of that shit, man. Good one. Came with a little fucking guitar pick. CD. Boom. Fucking groovy. The 7-inch, like I said, is 1971 Mirror Records. That was their own label that they operated out of the fucking House of Guitars. He played in some 60s bands before this. The Church Mice, which is a fucking super rare single I'll probably never find that I'll always want. But by 71, he began Armin Schabrick Steals. Says, baby love, I'm coming home, split with my warden's fucking circus. Just really appreciate the big fuck you attitude this dude had, man. Rock and roll shit, man. Fucking dig it. But hey, man, if this Armin dude sounds fucking at all fucking interesting to you, this is the one I'd recommend you start with. Rat Fucker. A colossal album of weirdo rock and roll bullshit. Rat Fucker! You're standing in my fucking block! Rat Fucker! This shit rules, dude. Rat Fucker, look it up. Anyway, while we're talking about fucking Mirror Records and the House of Guitars, that dude Armin was like the owner with his brothers, right? But who I remember as the cashier when I was coming up was the singer of this band, fucking Greg Prevost, dude. You know, I'd be like an 8-year-old kid walking in there, and he looked like he was in the fucking New York Dolls. I was like, who the fuck is this badass rock and roll motherfucker? It was this guy. Anyway, this is Chesterfield King's fucking 1984 single, She Told Me Lies, split with I Got Away with Girls. Fucking top tier 80s garage revival shit, right? And this one's cool. The A-side is one of their first, if not their first, like original numbers that they put out. For a long time, they were just doing like fucking super obscure covers of fucking KI60s garage rock, like this B-side that was originally done by the Lavender Hour. Fucking killer track. But they finally fucking hit us up with an original tune on this one. And it's not a fucking letdown, let me tell you. It's a fucking killer. Got that fucking homie Rick Kona on lead guitar, man. That dude fucking rules. Fucking Greg just put out a book. I just got it a couple days ago in the mail. I'm psyched to fucking check it out. I haven't cracked it open yet, but I'm 100% looking forward to it. He did a real cool fucking interview, two-part interview on the Ugly Things podcast not too long ago. That's worth checking out. Cool shit though. I mean, that's like fucking cornerstone shit of my rock and roll path from when I was just a little motherfucker, you know. Alright, moving on anyway. This next one is probably my rarest find of the trip, or at least the most expensive one. Grabbed this from my dear friend Mark at the Record Archive. Fucking G.G. Allen. Public Animal #1. Well, you hate me and I hate you. This is the first G.G. Allen song I ever heard on a fucking Faster and Louder compilation that Rhino put out. I just gave those 2 tapes to my nephew for Christmas. I hope he listens to them. Anyway, look at the fucking drawing on this cover. Oh my god, I love it. I don't know, you know Gigi, right? It's some fucking mean and nasty, but catchy as fuck punk rock shit, man. This cover is kind of fucking beat, but you know, I don't mind. Kind of feels like a GG record should be a little bit beat up. But you got You Hate Me and I Hate You on the A-side. Automatic and Ass Face on the fucking B-side. You know, and this is all like Jabbers era. Always was, always is, and always shall be fucking era. Really good GG. Like probably the best GG shit. Tuneful, catchy fucking rock and roll shit with some mean and nasty lyrics. That's some punk rock shit right there. Dig it. These next few I fucking dug out of the bins at Hi-Fi Lounge, man. He had a bunch of like $2 and $3 fucking rando singles, which I'm all on board for, especially if they came out on Mystic Records. This is a 1990 Nashville compilation. Opry Outcasts on fucking Super 7 Mystic, right? You got 4 fucking Nashville hardcore punk bands. You got Rednecks in Pain, Mayday, Caustic Solutions, and Word Uprising. None of them really stick out as being fucking the best, but none of them suck either. If you need a fucking generic hardcore fix, boom, this is the one for you. That may sound like a put down, but it's not, because I sometimes do need a generic hardcore fix. I'm not fucking around here. Grab this one too, Olive Lawn, man. This is a band I found like in the last year. I just went through the whole fucking like Nemesis Records catalog one day and I was like, who the fuck is this band I never heard of? And just fucking clicked on videos for each band I never heard of before to find if anyone was cool. And some of them sucked and some of them were cool. This band, Olive Lawn, was fucking cool, man. Terrible band name. A name like Olive Lawn is not like... Wow, I gotta check out fucking Olive Lawn. I never thought I would say that sentence. But then a couple months ago, I was like, man, I do gotta check out Olive Lawn. Cool fucking band. It's like a fucking heavy, garagey fucking punk rock record, man. Cool vocals, 1990 Nemesis Records. It's colorful for people that like colorful shit. I'm gonna definitely be hunting for more Olive Lawn shit. I like these guys, man. I like the dude's voice. I like how he sings. Music's cool. Olive Lawn. I'm on your team now. What about this one? Penetration Moon, dude. You tried these fuckers out? Don't look at his wiener. This guy, you know who this guy is? It's fucking Blag from the Dwarves, right? This is like a Dwarves side project thing from 1991, Sympathy for the Record Industry. Does he look a little more blaggy there? It's good shit. Apparently they were trying to make like more of a glammy kind of band, but I mean, it looks a little more glammy, but pretty much still sounds like the Dwarves. So if you dig the Dwarves, check out some fucking Penetration Moon, man. I think there's an LP of this shit too. I have not found that, but both songs on here are pretty good. Couple more, goddamn. Ooh! Let's do 2 at a time. Up next, we got fucking 2 from Tumor Circus, right? These both came out in 1991 on Alternative Tentacles. This is a Jello Biafra project, right? Jello from Dead Kennedys is the singer for these. I think he's collaborating with a couple of dudes from Steel Pole Bathtub, I believe. This is the first one. It's got like 3 songs on it, man. You gotta be careful. There is like a picture disc version of this where they have like a fucking big hole drilled right into it, so you cannot listen to it. So it's just like... They had that version there too. It's like got a big thing like special collector's edition with a hole drilled through it so you can't even listen to it. It's like, I will buy the one you can listen to. How kind of them to have both versions. This is the second one. There's only a song on the A side here. The B side's got an etching. Weird fucking snail guy on the cover. But these are both cool, man. If you dig Jello's kind of shit, you know, especially the collaboration stuff he was doing around these times. You know, he did the fucking Tumor Circus. He did the shit with fucking Al Jorgensen. He did the fucking No Means No one and the DOA one. Yeah, man, he was getting around. And it's generally pretty fucking killer. This is no exception. So they're like fucking $2 each, man. Get some $2 Jello. Alright, last one. This has gone on long enough, I know. Hey, I bought a ton of shit. I had to visit all the stores that I missed, man. All the stores that I missed from when I lived there. You know, I got homies that are working there. It's always great to be back and see the family and to see the friends and to see the record stores. I missed them all. Anyway, last item. This was again from Hi-Fi Lounge. And a pretty cool find. It's a fucking lost and found 7-inch box set. It's got 5 records in there. Let's go through them. Kind of opens up this away, right? Pretty nice. Got some advertisements in the back. The other shit they're selling, very cool. And here's what it comes with. White Flag, Within You, Without You. A-side is studio, the B-side is live. This is fucking good White Flag shit. Yeah, fucking Bill Bartell, Mustache Punk, Colory. Impatient Youth. This is all studio recordings from 1978. California punk rock. Real cool shit. I think this shit was unreleased at the time. This whole box came out in 1990. Pretty sure these were all unreleased tunes at the moment. I'm pretty sure since then this stuff's been collected on a comp CD or LP or some shit. I don't know, but Impatient Youth is good stuff. Perhaps the jewel of the set, fucking United Mutation, man. Look at all the songs they fit on this fucking 7-inch. Recorded 82 at Inner Ear, man. United Mutation was fucking wild, man. I never hear them tossed into the conversation when this comes up. But for me, man, this guy was like early on fucking death metal vocals. Almost. He was fucking like proto-death metal vocals in a bitchin' hardcore band. United Mutation, fucking badass. Next one, Bored Youth. These are 1981 recordings that were supposedly supposed to come out as a single on Touch and Go back in the day, you know? In the classic, you know, Necro's Negative Approach fucking Meatmen era. But for whatever reason, it didn't come out. But here it is in the box set. And it is some lovely Midwestern, early 80s hardcore punk shit, man. This is the last one. It's a 1981 demo by the Meatmen. Purportedly their second demo. Fucking orgy of one tooling for anus. It's a crude recording with crude songs. I dig it. So boom, the Lost and Found box set is pretty fucking awesome. I remember I saw this fucking thing at that store when I was there fucking 2 years ago. It had been 2 years since I was in Rochester. And I left it there that time. I was like, man, I probably should have fucking got that. And 2 years later, it's still sitting there. So thanks to the entire city of Rochester for leaving this for 2 years for me to buy. It's fucking cool. Hey, and that's it. Wow, that was a ton of shit, man. I'm sorry it took so long, but it's been so long. I had so much to share with you, man. Like I said, I got done recording our album and shit, so I'm hoping that we can, that I can get back on the fucking video train a little bit, be a little bit more consistent, but I ain't making no more promises, man. I ain't making no promises. It's like, you know, it'll happen when it happens, when the time is there and when the time is right, you know, when it's right. Hey, on that note, speaking of my band, I gotta throw in one last plug. I don't think I showed you guys, since it's been so damn long since we did a video, man. We do have a new 10-inch out. This is a live 10-inch stinky pink vinyl. It's 9 songs. It's a recording from when we opened up for DOA a little bit ago. Hey, and even if you don't like the record, it's beautiful wall art. Anyway, we got a 7-inch coming out soon too, and probably this one we're making right now will be ready by like the end of the year or maybe the fall or something. I don't know. Who knows when you get a record press anymore, how long it'll take. But hey, fuck, good to see you guys, man. Let's party again soon. Until then.